Good morning. Today what we're going to do is just a simple scallop, how to make a scallop. I've had a bunch of requests for people to do it slow. So, I'm going to do the 1 inch, which is probably the most popular. And so, you just take your 1 inch scallop ruler, you have a 4 inch strip of fabric. I was not as smart in the beginning to put how wide to make it. So what you have to do is just take and put it on top and figure out how much you need. So it's a 4 inch strip. On my newer ones, I did tell you how wide to make the strip. You know, you learn as you go along. So what you do is, of course, you figure out the circumference of whatever you need if you're binding or whatever, and you add it on with a 45-degree, like you do your binding. Okay, 2 pieces of fabric right sides together. Oh, also please comment. I have 2 half yards of fabric. I'm giving 2 things away today, and just comment and we will pick 2 winners at the end of the show. So 2 pieces of fabric right sides together, add on length just like you do as a binding. You put it on top of your fabric, trace around your ruler, marking your end points, your centers. Please mark everything that is on this ruler because I have a reason for everything on my rulers. Because this shows you where to sew to, where to go to. Everything is on this once you mark this. And as you go down, you keep moving it down, matching where you were last. Just keep going, going, going. Okay. Once you got it, and every 4th hump, I usually put a pin or I put one of these little hair guys. Okay. You want to put, I just put it to sew a 1/4 inch. You can use your 1/4 inch foot or you can do this. Okay. I drop my stitch length to a 2 because you're going to be going around a curve and you're going to be using a pusher. So you want it so it's nice and tight. And so then what you're going to do is I'm going to start. I always wanted to enclose my ends because especially if you're doing a binding, you want to start in a corner and end in a corner. So you're going to sew a 1/4 inch up. Put my needle down. I'm going to go just 1 more. Then what you want to do, you want to follow your guide with your 1/4 inch foot. When somebody asked if you go to the dot, you go to the dot, 1 stitch across, and it's only, you're on a 2. Your stitch length is really, really, really small. I don't know if I can do this slow, I'm so used to doing it fast. Then you just follow it all the way around. Then 1 stitch across, and like I just did too many. I wanted to show you what I do if I do too many, because I'll be watching a movie and go, oops, I did too many. So then all I do is pick it out. Happens to all of us, because I'll be going, oh, look at that in that movie. Because I watch miniseries while I do it. Then I go back and I just fix it. Then you go 1 stitch across.
Can you speak up?
I'm sorry?
Speak up louder.
Oh, okay. And just go around the curve. Just guide it with your hands. Once again, go to your dot, your end point. Keep sewing, 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 sewing till you get to your dot. One stitch. never in a race. I had Grandma who was behind me, and she always said, it isn't about getting done fast, it's about perfection. Because remember, if I didn't do it right, I got to do it again and again and again and again. Because that was my grandmother's thing. Like if I ever take a class, I'm probably the last one done. Because I always have that little thing in my head that Grandma's going to be behind me telling me what I did wrong. And I cut this one off yesterday, and I usually have a line. And I always enclose the ends on the start and the finish. Always, because I don't want to have to do it. One stitch across. And just take your time. That's all you have to do. And the thing about this is, I always try not to say practice is perfect. Practice is better. Because I had so many perfectionistic issues when I always, that I didn't want my kids to have perfectionistic issues. Too late. They had them anyways. But I tried to say practice is better. But they still got them. They still have a bunch of issues with it. But I didn't want them to. But obviously, you get them anyways. That's one nice thing of getting more mature. What used to bug you doesn't bug you as much as it used to. And then I meet where I started. And I back it up. Cut my threads. And voila. I use darker thread here so you could see. Okay? So, I should use darker thread on this, but I had changed it because I made a pot holder last night because I thought it was so cute. Okay? Then what you want to do is cut it 1/8 of an inch from your sew line. Then you don't have to clip it, pink it, do any of that stuff. It just makes it, it's just as easy. It's just like you do when you applique. So all you have to do is cut it 1/8 of an inch. So it's just between your guide and your sew line is where you cut. And it's just easy, simple. Okay, can I just throw this away? Then what you have to do is just take when you separate this, make sure you're not cutting through both. And just cut a little. Get your scissors through it. And if you want, you can take a ruler and just connect all these. You want to cut through the top layer only if you're doing a binding or whatever, or you'll have two halves and bye-bye binding, and you will be a very unhappy camper. And I'm just going to cut it to there. Then you put right sides out.
Why not sew to the 1/8 of? Why not sew to 1/8 of in the beginning?
Because
then you don't have to cut in the end.
It would. This just. Let's say you didn't do it well. I've tried every way I could, and this just happens to work better. Because you've got to, you're cutting the quarter, or you're sewing the quarter, then you cut it to the 1/8. And if you did it to the 1/8 from the edge, it'd be bigger than the quarter. See what I mean? I'm getting what you just said to me then. Takes me a moment. Okay, if you just sewed it to the 1/8, it would be between the 1/8 and the quarter. So it would be bigger than an inch, and it wouldn't be the exact size of this. That's what you said, right, Lindsay? Mm-hmm. Okay. I had to figure out what you were saying.
It also gives you more room for error.
Right. But you still need that, you want a 1/4 inch, because that's how I set up the ruler, to be a 1/4 inch sewing down. I didn't do it for an 1/8. Because it wouldn't fit the pusher that I made it. I had to think what you said. Takes me a moment. I'm not as quick as I used to be. Okay, then I use spray starch. Then I was so sad yesterday. I dropped one of my antique irons, and I was just, oh my gosh, I was so sad. But they do have them on eBay. I bought 3 more. I don't need 3 more, but I bought 3 more. Isn't that just insane? That's like dumb, but it works. I like them. This is the travel iron size. I like both of them, but these are a little lighter. And also, right here, if it's not exactly how you want it, don't be afraid to pull on these to make them just perfect. I don't, fabric's not going to break. So it'll be fine. All you do is keep, once again, make sure you comment. I'm giving away 2.5 yards of fabric. It's by Poppy Cotton. I think it's just darling. I need to make some, I want to use this for some napkins. I got new pink plates, and it matches my pink plates perfectly. So I'm like all excited. Small things give me a hot thrill. Lindsay has taken the task of ripping up her tile. I think every bone in her body and muscle in her body hurts. That is a hard job, I'll tell you. We have tiled most of this house, and I have zero desire to do it again, I'll tell you. Like, zero. Make sure this is out. Lindsay's redone almost her whole house. With COVID, she was on a roll.
Nothing better to do. Stuck at home for almost a year.
I don't know. My house is ripped up. It just isn't put back together. Oh, we did a bunch of canning. I loved my dish mats for canning. They were awesome. I got to make a bunch more. We canned potatoes. We canned celery. We canned corned beef. We canned chicken. What else did we can? Oh, we canned garlic in a really good sauce. Oh, it's wonderful actually. It's like a candied garlic. We canned carrots. And we canned roasted peppers. I'll have to bring some down and show you girls. Today I think I'm going to make some sweet onion jam to put like on pork or meatloaf or whatever. I got to make some homemade bread today.
Now when my kitchen's not torn up anymore, we'll do the homemade bread at my house.
Yeah, when her kitchen's not tore up, we'll do homemade bread at her house. And I did find an island. I have a little one that's awful in the kitchen, but I want to get a big one. My husband is fighting me tooth and nail, but I think I'm going to get it.
How long does it take you to make this for a large quilt? Right now you're doing it slow.
I'm doing it slow. What I do is not really bad. My thing is, for me, I'll sew it. I don't really time it because what I'll do is I'll sew it and I'll go upstairs and there's always so much to do. So you've got to do your laundry. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. So in between, while I'm doing laundry or whatever, I'll be upstairs and I'll cut around it. Or I'll push it out, or I'll do whatever, because I don't stay down here and do it constantly. A lot of times I take it to shows. That's my binding. I'm finishing something. When I'm demoing, that's what I do. I'll finish a binding when I'm demoing. So once I'm done with a show, I got a binding done.
When I did mine, I cut it out in the carpool pickup lane.
Yeah, and then I go home, and I always have ironing mats upstairs. I always have little irons upstairs, and on my dining room table I'll sit and iron a little bit here, a little there, so I never really time it out totally. But it doesn't.
You're generally really fast.
It goes fast, but I'm doing it slower because I want. Also, when you do the pusher, don't be afraid to push on it. Put some muscle in it. Otherwise, you're not going to get the full, nice and perfect looking, better looking scallops. And we want them to look amazing. Because scallops, I think, are one of my favorite shapes. And they're beautiful on quilts. Someday I should time it out. I never have, because I just have always got so much going on. And it's just cute as a button. That's with 2 colors.
I'm going to take it close so I can show that it doesn't pucker in.
Yeah, it's just... Okay,
Do you have a quilt you can show with the scallops on it?
Not down here, but I can show you next week.
And what is the most popular size? The 1 inch?
Okay, if you're going to do a quilt for the binding, you either want to use the 3/4 or the 1 inch. If you go any larger and you're putting it on the inside, they're going to fall open. The 3/4 obviously I use on smaller quilts. The 1" is the biggest I go, even on a king size quilt, because otherwise you don't want them to flop. If you're going to put them on the outside, you can use whatever size you would like. And I did that one quilt with the 1.5 inch, how you put them on this way, then you flop them out that way. I don't know, one of my tutorials I have done. But if you're going to keep them on the inside, you don't want to go bigger than the 1 inch. So 3/4 inch or the 1 inch are the largest you want to go for a bind.
Are you going to do a demo of the ironing mat that you made?
Yeah, if you would like me to, I will.
Also, what shows do you have coming up?
I am going to go to Chicago the first week of June. And then I go where, Lindsay?
They're all original sewing and quilting.
Original sewing and quilting. I have them booked out, and I'm all booked out, but I don't keep track until right before I'm going to go. And I think I go to Ohio, someplace in Ohio. Okay, here's the first winner. Connie McCoy! Congratulations.
Where in Chicago?
I know I fly into O'Hare, and my hotel's 12 miles away.
So it's close to O'Hare.
Yeah. Connie McCoy, congratulations. She's a sweetie. I know Connie. I've met her at shows, and we've gone out for her birthday dinners. Okay, and the second winner is Erin Elizabeth, I think. Congratulations, you have won fabric. This is poppy cotton. It's beautiful. The hand of it is just amazing. I absolutely love the feel of it. And one of my really good friends designed it. And she lives in Utah. And thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless all of you. And please like and please subscribe and please share. God bless all of you.